Okay, back again. Now I'm gonna do these next two as a pair because they're so identical. I got these at a warehouse raid at a place, Bellingham, Washington, about a half hour north of here. And I found it through Craigslist, and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I was actually borrowing a friend's pickup truck. We had to make 2 trips because we actually bought all 3 of these at one place. So these are 3Com Z-backs. They're often mistaken as Dynamo Z-backs, although some people still swear that Dynamo makes them. I haven't personally have any proof of that, but I can tell you that both of these are stepped 3Com. John from John's Arcade, his is also a 3Com, and the Neo-Geo there is also made by 3Com. So, but that being said, there are some similarities to Dynamo cabinets. In fact, this control panel, which I just bought, is for a Dynamo. And it seems to fit this one. It's pretty tight to fit this one. But for some reason, this one here is literally a 1/16 of an inch too narrow. So I haven't decided if I'm going to take this panel and grind it down to fit, or if I'm just going to take all of my Naomi setup there and move it into this cabinet here, which would also mean I would have to swap monitors. This monitor here is a Neotec VGA only, 25 inch. And this one here that's got the problems is a HAP MacVision. It's like, it's not quite a 25, it's like a 24, nearly flat, tri-mode. And as you can see, it's got some issues here in the vertical circuit. I haven't looked into it yet. Sometimes the lines shift a little bit. They seem to start right there at the halfway mark, but sometimes they'll start up here about a third of the way down or so. So anyway, this one here was actually a Puzzle Fighter 2, or Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo to be perfectly exact. When I saw this, I was super excited. This was another one of the cabinets that me and the wife used to play. The arcade got one of these closer to its closing, and once we learned the game, this was our easily became one of our favorites. But what happened with this was it had the typical Capcom 2 CPS2 suicide battery, and the board had died. I didn't really care so much because I knew it could be phoenixed, but when I actually took the cartridge apart, took the board apart, the battery exploded everywhere, and it had been left for a very long time, and the acid had completely eaten away legs off of the chips, and it's just complete garbage. So I'm still in the market for a CPS2 or a Puzzle Fighter 2 board for the CPS2. They seem to be very hard to come by, and they can be quite expensive when I do find them. So, but anyway, one of these, I couldn't tell you which one, didn't have a power supply in it, but I had a typical off-the-shelf JAMA power supply, which I built into it. And then I took a look at the other one, and it didn't really look terribly great. I mean, some of the connections were kind of shoddy, so I took and basically made 2 of the same power supply boards, so they were identical. So this one, the coin door was in good shape. This one here, which you won't be able to see very well, but it needed some parts, which I was able to get from Twisted Quarter. Surprisingly enough, one of these is a HAP IL, and the other one is a coin controls. So 2 different doors, same cabinet. They may have been replaced at some time. But that's it. Oh, let me back up here. And I apologize, these videos are going to be very off the cuff, no editing or whatever, and I'm just using a video camera that I literally found on my floor, so I'm not even sure if it's mine. that is the nature of my house, as people drop off their electronics for repair. Sometimes they just say, here, it doesn't work, or I can't get it to work, and they just leave it with me. So yeah, oh, and this monitor here came out of a free cab that I got off Craigslist, and all it needed was a video transistor. It had one color missing, and I bought a bag of 10 transistors for $10, $1 each, and I was able to replace that. I actually did all 3 just for safety's sake, since I was there, and it came back to life, and it's actually a really good monitor, but it is VGA only. So I'm gonna go kill the jukebox, and we're gonna move on to the next. So thanks for viewing.